Howdy doody and welcome along to module number 3, Angle. Now, what is Angle? Angle is all about the positioning, the story or the hook that you're going to use for your affiliate promotion. And if there's one thing that gets me more emotional and excited than anything else in internet marketing, it's this topic. In fact, I'm regularly training and coaching some of the biggest names in the industry on how to do exactly this because they miss it all the time. Now, obviously, with the commission machine, this is about finding an existing product and coming up with a story or a hook or an angle that's going to sell that for you. You can't just go out there and say, here's a thing that's going to get you a ton of traffic. Here's a thing that's going to be great for SEO because that's what everybody else does. And if you do what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else gets. And mainly, most affiliates are just struggling right now. So you need to do something different to stand out, to be unique, to get noticed, to get clicks, and to get sales. And it all starts with the angle. So, are you ready? Let's get stuck into this.
Okay, let's start this module by talking about the ancient marketing technique used by cavemen. Yes, believe it or not, thousands, if not millions of years ago, cavemen were using a technique which you can apply today to make crazy commissions in your affiliate promotions. What is this? Well, it's storytelling. That is, telling stories, right? Because this builds a lot of curiosity. It gets people interested, it gets them listening, paying attention, and wanting to know what happens next. It creates drama. A story really builds a person's sense of interest, their sense of curiosity in something, and they really want to know where is this going. They get involved in it rather than just a straight promotion. Because really, people crave entertainment and excitement in their lives. That's why soap operas are so popular. That's why, Big Brother is so popular, and people are always constantly looking for distractions in their life, like Facebook and things like that. It's because they crave that entertainment, that excitement. So if you can do this in your promotions, in the actual angle that you're using for your promotions, you will get attention and you will get noticed. So this is really built into our DNA, right? To actually want this entertainment, to follow stories. It's been used for millions of years that people have wanted to know, and learn things in story format. Once upon a time such and such happened. It's how history was handed down years ago. It's how knowledge used to be handed down. So if you can embrace this using the techniques I'm going to show you in this module, you'll get a lot more attention, a lot more clicks, and a lot more sales. And that's really what it's all about, is getting attention. That's the main kind of challenge. If you can get attention in this marketplace, you will make a lot of money. And that's why most people are struggling, is they can't get that attention. They can't overcome the noise of everything else that's going on in the marketplace. They get drowned out because they sound like everybody else. They're saying the same stuff. This is your last chance to buy such and such. 50% off this. Here's a coupon for this. Here's how to get traffic. Here's how to do SEO. They just get lost in the noise of everyone trying to do the same thing. If you adopt the approach I'm going to share with you in this module and in later modules, you will get attention. You'll stand out, people will notice you, they'll become your raving fan, and it will literally change your business. So, let's talk about how to stand out in a noisy marketplace. Well, firstly, you need to choose an overarching theme or angle for your promotion, which is of course, the subject of this entire module. So it's about having a different angle, a different story, and a different position to everyone else. Because most people just take a product, they look at what it does, and they go off and they talk about that. Right? And it works to a certain degree, but people have kind of got bored of that. If there's a launch going on and there is 100 people all talking about the product and what it does, your message is just going to drown out, it's just going to be buried with everyone else. But if you tell a story, if you have a different angle, that's what's going to get noticed. People are going to read your message, or they're going to read your email, they're going to read your Facebook post or your blog post or your tweet or whatever it is, and they're going to take action on it because it stands out and it's different to everybody else's. So doing this, once you've got this different angle, it's going to have a big impact on your promo messages that you send out and their readability and how much they get seen, clicked on, and bought from. It's going to have a big impact on the bonus you create if you create a bonus for your promotion, and we're going to talk about that in the next module. And it also makes the creation of your promotional messages much easier when you have this overriding theme, because you don't have to struggle and say, well, how am I going to write about another traffic product? How am I going to write yet another promotion for a video product? When you have this way of creating a unique angle every single time that's exciting and fun and entertaining, then it's more fun for you, it's easier for you to create these things, and people love getting them. So here's how to pick the perfect angle. There are really 4 key ways that you can do this. There's the product angle, the attribute angle, the personal angle, and the money angle. Now, since I've started using this approach in my business, the change has been incredible. Right? First off, I have a lot more fun creating promotions, and I make a lot more money as a result, because I have this kind of story that wraps around every promotion that makes it easy to create the messages, and people kind of resonate with it. But more than that, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. Every time I put a promotion out, every time I put a message out, an email or a Facebook post, I'm getting people saying, "Oh, that was ace, that was great, that was awesome, thanks for this, I look forward to getting your emails, you always make me laugh, you always make me smile." But every single one of them is a pitch. Right? I don't put free content out anymore. I don't believe in moving the free line, kill the free line as far as I'm concerned. Everything you put out should be a promotion. As long as you're doing it in this way, then it will be both entertaining and educating. And we're going to talk more about that when we come on to actually discussing how to create the messages themselves. In this module, we're talking about the angle that overarches the entire promotion. We're not necessarily talking about how to create the messages, but I will get into some detail of that and give you some examples so you can see what we're talking about with these different angles. So those are the 4 different angles: the product angle, attribute angle, the personal angle, and the money angle. So let's talk first off about the product angle. What is it? Well, this is about obviously focusing on the product itself. So buying the product, using the product, ideally getting results with the product, and then sharing that with people in your promotional messages. Okay? So here's an example of this in action. Right? This was for a video-based product, and I need to tell you right up front, every promotional message or email that you see in this entire program, the Commission Machine, is copyright protected. Okay, I don't want to see any of this stuff out there. It's copyright protected legally, so please don't swipe or steal this stuff. I will, well, not me personally, but my lawyer will come and hunt you down. So having said that disclaimer, let me go through now and show you what this email is. Now, by the way, if you've already upgraded and got a special ticket or got the Done For You service, and you'll see a link at the top of your screen on the navigation to get the Done For You service, you will get all the promotions for this particular product done for you, and you can use them. That gives you a license to use the exact promos and the bonus that I created and just copy and paste it. Okay, so if you want to do that. But if you want to create some of these yourself for different products, then let me just walk you through it. So this is a product angle. Right, so I'll just go through this. I fell in love with this guy on Monday. On Tuesday, I hated him. So right, there's a subject line. Now, in this case, we're talking email, but this could have equally been a Facebook post, and quite a lot of these things, if you do this in the right way and you create them in this style, you can use them in multiple ways. You can put them out to your email list if you have a list. If you don't have a list, you can put them on a blog. You can put them out on Facebook. You can have a link to them on Twitter. It doesn't really matter. The content is extremely readable, entertaining, and every single one is going to generate sales for you, which is better than the standard pitch. Buy this thing, it's 50%, it's only $47, it does X, Y, Z. This is a different approach, right? So the subject line, this gets attention. I fell in love with this guy on Monday. On Tuesday, I hated him. So already they're like, what is this? He fell in love with somebody? He's a dude? And then, but Tuesday he hated him? What is this about? And then it was a whirlwind romance. So we started talking here about the what happened. I got an email from this guy. I saw the sales letter and I was intrigued. I got the product and I was hooked. So I'm telling them right up front, I bought this thing. Right? I have bought this product, which is extremely important when you're doing a promotion, that you invest in the product that you're promoting so that you know it, so that you've understood it, and so that you've used it. People will know that. If you're promoting something you haven't bought it, they're going to know. You're going to be saying the same things as everyone else. If you're using the default, swipe files or whatever, people are going to know that, right? So you've got to invest in the product that you're recommending. Next, I put here, I saw my results later that evening and I couldn't sleep, which I did. This is a product that shows you how to use iPhone to record video. And I went to the product, blown away by the product, started using it, got really good results with video and stuff like that very, very quickly. So I was like, okay, this is cool. So I talk about, again, the results. I say this is the best quality products I have ever bought. Which it is in terms of the members area and the training. It really was a top quality product. And then I continue the story. I bored my wife about it, telling her about it. But then I I was like, oh crap, I now hated the guy because I realized that he'd raised the bar on quality of product. So that's why I switched from loving him to hating him. And then I basically say, look, this is the best quality results getting product. Just don't blame me if you can't sleep after getting it, and then put the link in there. Okay. So that was one example of the product angle for that. Let me give you another example. So this is the same product. Again, I've said here, look, I couldn't sleep after seeing this. Something incredible happened. I got an email. When you see the sales letter, like me, you'll be intrigued. Like me, you will get the product. So again, I'm telling you, look, I bought this thing. Like me, you will see your results and not be able to sleep, which again was the God's honest truth. I was laying awake at night for a couple of hours, excited about what I could now do with my iPhone and the high quality videos that I could create, which I've been trying to do for years and years, and I was finally able to do. And then obviously the link. And then the last one, again, this is again, we're talking about the product angle here. There's a $9,000 brick in my garage. And this is me talking about a Bose home cinema system which I'd got. It was sitting in my garage and I'd not installed it, so it was there doing nothing. And I then talked about that and the iPhone and how most people don't use their iPhone because they don't really know how to use it properly to create Hollywood quality videos, and go and get this product. It's great because I've used it. So that's using the product angle. Okay, it is pretty common. A lot of people will use it, but if you do it in the right way and you ensure that you've bought the product, you've used the product, and ideally got some kind of result or moved forward in some way with the product, and you incorporate that into the promotional messages that you create, then you can get really good results with it. So don't worry too much at this point about the creation of the messages and what to say in your promotional messages. We're going to cover that on an entire module on its own. Right now, I just want you to think about these different angles that you can adopt for the promotion as a whole. Okay, let's talk about the next one, which is the attribute angle. So this is slightly different to the product angle. A product angle, you're just looking at the product as a whole. You're talking about your results with it, or how you've used it, or what you thought of it when you got in there. The attribute angle is where you pick one specific attribute, benefit, or outcome of the product. Not everything, you just pick one thing and you focus only on that to differentiate yourself in the market. So whereas everyone else is saying, oh yeah, it does this, this and this, it does this and it does this and this, you just pick one aspect of the product and focus only on that with all your messages for that particular campaign. Okay, so you talk to this one area exclusively. Okay, so this is the example where I used this attribute angle for a promotion. Okay, this particular product was all about private label rights. It taught you how to take a private label rights product and get it up and running and selling within 60 minutes. And a lot of people who promoted it were talking about PLR, private label rights, how to set up websites. They were talking about the whole thing. But the attribute that I focused on was the 60-minute aspect to this, right? Now again, as I said before, don't swipe this, but if you want this entire set, this commission machine, which contains a week's worth of promotions of this particular product and a done for you bonus, so you can just copy and paste this stuff and start making money with it, you need to buy the done for you package at the top of the page. You'll see a link there and you'll get all this done for you. If you're trying to create your own commission machines by following this training, then pay close attention. This is what I did for this one. So the subject was American Idol, as in idle lazy, rather than idol, as in hero. Play on words, obviously, on the popular TV show. They call it lazyitis. It's the dream-killing phenomenon which is zombifying Americans and other people all over the world. Let's face it, most people would rather watch Dancing with the Stars for 60 minutes than study how to get wealthy. Most people would rather spend 60 minutes lying in bed than get an hour's exercise to improve their health. So I'm opening this up by saying, look, 60 minutes. What can you do in 60 minutes? You could watch Dancing with the Stars. You could lie in bed, right? Continues. Most people would rather spend 60 minutes peeking into other people's lives on Facebook than spending 60 minutes to improve their own. But you're not like most people, are you? Right? So I'm kind of putting it on the spot here and saying, look, you're not like these guys. Right? You're different. You're an entrepreneur. It's in your DNA. You've got the same gene that I do, right? Etc. Keep going on. I've got a recommendation for you. Forget watching TV today and spend 60 minutes making some real money instead. So all I've really focused on here is what can you do in 60 minutes. You can waste time on Facebook, you can watch Dancing with Stars on TV, you can sleep for 60 minutes, or you could go to this link and make some money. Right? So that was the attribute angle, just picking one attribute of the product. If I'd have gone into this email and said, okay, here's a product, it's all about private label rights, and you take a product and you set it up and you build a website and you do this and then you restructure it and you try and get it online, and it would not have sold half as well as good as this did. Okay, so here's the next email. Again, pay close attention to what we said at the start of this module about storytelling. This one, subject line, my dog's poop has a ringtone. People are like, what the hell is this? His dog's poop has a ringtone. I have to read this. We lead busy lives, don't we? Take this morning. My walk with the dog was like a multitasker's wet dream. Exercise the dog, check. Walk at high speed to get cardio, check. Call my dad on the cell phone to say hi, check. Everything was going swimmingly. Even the unwelcome arrival of a dog's egg from my dog Max didn't put me off my stride. Poop scooped, check. So there I was, walking down the street, etc. And then I'd hung up the phone, my phone started ringing, and rather than reach for my phone, I lifted up the little bag of dog poop instead, by accident. It's just kind of habit because it was in my right hand. And the point was, right, as it says here, my point is, when you don't have much time, you need to find fast and easy shortcuts, right? Just like I did by trying to walk the dog, speak to my dad, and get exercise all at the same time. So what I've said is, look, if you've only got 60 minutes, and you want to make some money online today, then here's how to do it. So I've emphasized the 60 minutes again. It's all about doing something quickly for this particular promotion, right? Because the product was about 60 minutes. It was about doing something in 60 minutes. So I didn't talk about all the things to do with private label rights, setting up websites and all that stuff. I focused on one attribute. And this promotion did very, very well indeed. Next, let's talk about the personal angle. This is where you talk about how you met the person behind the product or how you encountered them. You don't have to meet these guys, because let's face it, most of us don't get out to all these, high ticket events and go and brush shoulders with all these guys. But how you encountered the person is enough. Even just being on the list or what you've learned from them, you can use that in the story, in the promotions that you weave around a particular product. So it could be stories about any kind of interaction you've had with them, whether it was on a webinar, it could have been on their Facebook group or just on their wall or a post, anything at all, right? Just what you learned from them, even just with their broadcast emails. You make a connection in your promotion so that people feel you know this person, and that the trust they have in you is then followed on with the credibility and trust they would have in the person that you're recommending. So this example shows you how I use the personal angle in one of my commission machines. So this was a week-long commission machine that I created with a number of emails, several emails all queued up, and they were all based around this personal angle, connection to the product owner. So let's take a look at this first one, Craptin America. So again, a play on a movie title. What's happened to our heroes? Disgraced Olympic athletes, dubious police officers, and despised world leaders. Can we trust nobody? So I'm kind of stirring up the pain a little bit. And then I talk about how I was the same. I didn't trust anybody, how I was in a state in my business where I was really struggling, and I was crying out for a hero. Right? So this is where we get into the personal angle. So this is where I introduced the guy, right? Omar Martin. He's an ex-New York City paramedic. He basically took my business, he helped me and blasted it forward and helped me make a ton of money with the business. So I'm connecting it to the particular individual, having this personal angle so that people really feel they know the product owner, they know the relationship that I've got the product owner, there's results in there, there's story, there's relationship, and they know there's a real connection, a personal connection between me and the person that I'm promoting. So they're buying kind of into the relationship as much as they're buying the actual product. So here's another email that formed part of this commission machine with the subject, "It's alive, revealed my CPR bonus for my unfair advantage." So for this one, again, I'm talking about the personal relationship that I had with Omar, and I themed the entire promotion and the bonus around CPR. The fact that he kind of took my business and gave me this shock, this CPR from flatlining to, coming back to life with my business. And the entire promotion, the entire commission machine and the bonus that I created was based around that. Okay, so here's the bonus page that I created for this campaign, which adopted this personal angle. So you can see I've got the CPR theme to this with the badumph, the little flatline image. We've obviously got the deadline here when they can claim the bonus. Then a video which explained the story and my personal connection to this guy, and then what they were actually getting as part of the bonus. And each of these bonus items, again, is themed around this CPR. The idea that this guy was giving me CPR because he used to be a paramedic, and that was my connection to him because he gave my business CPR. So that personal angle went throughout the entire commission machine that I created for this, the entire promotion, all the messages that went out, and the bonus itself. And there was a huge leaderboard contest for this. I mean, people were fighting over this. Massive amount of promotion went into it, a massive amount of effort, with some really good top prizes, thousands of dollars on the table. And when all was said and done, I came second out of, I don't know, 100, probably 200 affiliates with this promotion. And a lot of that was down to having this personal angle that I've just shown you. Okay, so finally, let's look at the last angle, which is the money angle. This is where you basically, as Jerry Maguire would say, show me the money, right? Just focus in on the money. The closer that you can get to the money in your promotions, the closer that you can make that connection from what the product is and what it does to money, the more sales you're going to make. Right, so you've got to sometimes make that leap and make the connection which the vendor, the creator of the product, might have missed. They might be focusing instead on what the software does or a particular aspect of it or functionality. It's your job as a marketer to take that and make the connection between that and money, whether it's money saved or money made. And when you do that in your angle for your promotion, for your commission machines, you will see a big impact. So this is an example of me using this money angle in a commission machine. So these series of promotions in this particular commission machine were all focused on the money, right, on the money angle. So subject, strictly confidential. What I'm about to show you is strictly confidential. You see, a few days ago, I heard on the grapevine about a 27-year-old British newbie who stumbled across a secret technique that pulls in a few $100 a day. So that's all I'm talking about in here, right? This is a technique that's a few $100 a day. I don't talk about what it is. I don't talk about how long it takes. I don't talk about what software you need, if it's SEO or Google or whatever. It makes you this money. So it's all about the money. That's what the money angle is. And I should have been careful there. I nearly said the monkey angle, which it definitely is not. So let's have a look at another example here. So again, this is very straightforward, right? Subject, 27-year-old British newbie makes $464 in one day with secret technique. He's 27, he's British, he's a newbie, he's found a secret technique that makes him $464 a day. Check it out here. So again, it's about the money. I'm not being, clever with this. I'm not trying to confuse them with technical stuff or jargon or talking about product functionality or what it does or doesn't do. This is the amount of money it makes. You need to go and have a look at this. Now, of course, you need to mix and match these different angles. You can't always be promoting products with the money angle, right? It's just not going to work. People are going to get tired of it. Just like you can't always promote products using the product angle and just talking about a product that you've used. People are going to get bored. So these are parts of the things that you can have in your armory, if you like, to draw on when you're creating your commission machines. And when you do this and you mix and match like this, you stand out, you get noticed. People pay attention, they look at your promotional messages, they click on them, and they buy the recommendations that you make. Because remember, it's all about getting attention. You get that person's attention in the marketplace and you win. You get the click, you get the sale. It doesn't matter if you're doing this through email, on a Facebook post, a tweet, a blog post, wherever, you are going to get attention when you use these strategies. Okay, so you now know how to craft commission creating angles for any promo using the ancient marketing technique from the caveman days, how to stand out in a noisy marketplace, the product angle, the attribute angle, the personal angle, and the money angle. Now in the next modules we're going to look at this in more detail. I'm going to show you how to create these messages piece by piece so you can start to build these up and have a huge portfolio of commission creating messages that you can put out there, cranking out sales for you around the clock. So I'll see you on the next module.